Welcome, Queen, and a special shout out to the Queen who is humble enough to know she's replaceable, but cocky enough to know it's a downgrade because she inspired today's thought-provoking conversation. Did you text your way into a situationship? And if you did, how do you navigate liking someone when you can't stand the sound of their voice? So let's jump right into it because I want to keep this under 10 minutes and I got my notes today. So, why do men text and DM in 2023? Well, guess what? There are some men who are shy and they are introverted. So, they typically use texting and DMing as a way to soften the blow of rejection or to avoid the feeling of being uncomfortable and you knowing that they're uncomfortable and nervous and anxious about talking to you or trying to get to know you as they approach you. That's why they do it. But the majority don't have that issue. So there are 4 reasons why the majority of men text and DM in 2023. Common reasons. Number 1, they can. I know it seems just, you're like, what? They can? Yes. It's like you using a fork or a spoon. Now, you have both options available. Which one you choose, it just depends on which one you prefer in that moment. Typically, it's because you can. So you pick the one that's most convenient to you at that moment because you can. Secondly, because it allows them the convenience of engaging you while they're doing other things and typically involved in other relationships with other women. Number 3, because it's easier to breadcrumb you that way. He got his mindset on getting you in his bed and he's looking for other opportunities, aka he's not commitment ready yet. And number 4, because women, I know you may not want to hear this, so let me say this first. Kids are not the only one who will try you. Men will try you too, if they can get away with it. And so number 4 is because women allow them to. And if a brother can see and know that, hey, I can get away with this, well, you're going to get more of what you accepted. Page out of my own life. The brother tells me, oh, I thought you was going to call me right back. Mind you, I called him in under 30 minutes. And that's not a long time to wait for a return phone call. So I said, yeah, I got sidetracked, but it hasn't been that long. Now, we fast forward to me sending him a text message because I was checking on him because I knew prior to he was not feeling well. And there was no response after a couple hours. And I said, maybe he really isn't feeling that well. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call. So I called him and no answer. So I just left a voicemail. Hey, checking on you. I know you wasn't feeling well. When you get this message, give me a call back to let me know you're all right. No response, no nothing. I ain't calling back. I ain't texting back. The next day, I said, oh no, because like I said, we in a world now where people like to DM and text. That's why I'm talking about this now. And so I let him know that it was unacceptable for him to just not say anything. And needless to say, he didn't like the few choice words I shared with him. So he shared some of his own. And get this, although he was complaining about me sending a text and a long text, not only did he text me, but his text message was longer than mine. Now, was he upset? Absolutely. And he threw his hands up and walked away. So the moral of the story is this. Sometimes we're doing everything we can as women to bend over backwards for a guy who does not appreciate us and does not value us. And then we wonder why we get treated as less than. And so I challenge you to ask yourself, do you have some habits or some patterns that's causing you to be treated as less than? No judgment there. Just asking you to evaluate yourself. And if you need help with that, then you can always book a one-on-one with me. Because I'm telling you, people will do to you what you allow and what you tolerate and what you accept. And so another issue that was brought to the table was, can you have a whole encounter with a man that is not talking? And the short answer to that is yes, you can. And although it seems strange to some, there are three main root causes that allows texting relationships and situationships to happen. Number one, many of us, when the option is available, we have defaulted to texting over calling. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad one way or the other. I'm just saying that's typically what is happening nowadays. And even companies know this, and that is why so many companies now have what's called chat bots on their websites. And that's also why some companies also have the option for you to text them as well, because they know that we have defaulted to being a people who text versus call. Number two, specifically as it relates to relationships, there are no standards set for what real and acceptable communication should look and feel like. And if they are set, then the boundaries of those are not held throughout the communications as you're trying to get to know that other person. And the third reason is something called the path of least resistance, also known as the law of less effort. And it simply means that as humans, we are wired to just typically look for the easiest way out, whether it's to be comfortable or whether it's to avoid rejection or something else. We're wired to look for the easiest way. And if it's easier to text, then typically the brother gonna text. So yeah, you can have whole encounters with a man that's not actually talking. So lack of communication, fear, intimidation, not feeling confident, and a whole list of other choices and possibilities. It could also be the reason why some men prefer to text over talk. But again, they are the minority and not the majority. Because the majority of men, they ain't got no issue with asking you for your number. Because if he wants you, he come and get you. He gonna go after what he want, and he gonna make it known that if you are his, if y'all actually in a committed relationship, that, hey, listen, this one right here, don't try me. Don't try me, because this one right here, this one mine. But notice I said men, not men hoppers, aka Mr. Here, there, and everywhere. See, him, nah, he have his own interests in mind. He thinking about himself. He thinking about his own desires, and he thinking about what he can get out of you. He not thinking about committing to you. So the man hopper, I ain't talking about him. He'll probably DM you and text you to death. But a real man, nah, he not finna just text and DM you to death, because he gonna want to hear your voice too. Now, as for navigating this, you say, how do I navigate this? I done got myself into this situationship. I done got myself into this space with this man. I really like him, but I really don't like what he sounds like when he speaks. It's no easy way to say this, but I got a 5-step process for you. Number one, acceptance. Yes, accept that this is a situation that you created. I say it with love. You created this by your choice to not engage this man on the phone or in person before you develop feelings for him. So we got to do that first. Once we can accept it, we got to get to a place where, number two, we can admit. So admit to him how you feel. Because the reality is, you cannot have a quality relationship with someone who is not speaking, or I should say that you don't like to hear speak. Number three, assess. You need to take the time to do some self inventory and see how your choice has negatively impacted your life and wasted your time and possibly the time of this man. Number 4, adjust. Take your lessons and learn from them and create a standard of acceptable and real communications for your relationships going forward. What does that look like for you? And number 5, apply. Apply what you learned and keep that standard for acceptable and real communication in place going forward. And make it known to men that this is what it is from the very beginning. Don't get them down the road after the fact. No, from the jump. Put it out there. And so if you say, I was looking for a way or solution to stay in it, that's not what I'm telling you that you should do. Now, you can do whatever you choose, but I want you to consider this. Staying is settling. It's settling for you, and it's not serving him either. Because this man, respectfully, he belongs to someone else. And so there's no need for you to keep on holding on to him when he's not yours. Because understand this. His voice, the way he speaks, well, he can't change that. And you shouldn't want to work around for that, because then the deeper question becomes, why are you committed to try to force yourself to be in a relationship with a man when you can't stand the sound of the voice that God gave him to use to communicate? Think about that. Because when you want or desire someone to change an unchangeable trait that God gave them, then the issue is you want something that God didn't give you the heart to love nor the desire to have. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you, 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours you could change your life. So go ahead and do something life-changing now.